Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
If you love freedom,
as government expands, liberty contracts.
If you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
And good morning. This is Upfront Outspoken. Of course, I'm your host, Bob Williams, with you here on this Monday. You know, folks, in 1 month and 7 days, I want to bring this up right now, a very special Upfront and Outspoken will be heard. And you're asking me, what is it? Well, on that date, April 30th, 1975, Saigon fell. Now, we're trying, or I should say I am trying, to get a very special tribute to the men and women who served during that conflict. And we have several sound bites we're going to be airing from many Medal of Honor winners, some of them who have already passed, but their words, their experience is there, and you're going to hear it. What got me really involved in this, and I want to tell everybody right now, is a gentleman on Facebook by the name of Art. I can't remember his last name. Art Martin, I think his last name was. But anyhow, Art had posted about a Medal of Honor winner, Ed Freeman, who passed away, and there was no, how can I say, real big hoopla about it. It just garnered a byline in the obituaries, and it made me realize there are veterans who served in this conflict that indeed deserve recognition. Now, Ed is gone. Ed Freeman is gone, and several of the other Medal of Honor winners that you're going to hear during that program are also gone. But every one of us who served in that conflict have a story to tell. And this is what this special tribute on the 30th of April is going to be all about. It's going to be your opportunity to let me know your experience. So your experiences in Vietnam do not fade into a simple footnote in the history books. We were all brother in arms during that conflict, and I've been told it's going to be very difficult to get many veterans to open up. That's true. I'm not going to deny that. I will not deny that in the least bit. But I am hoping that many of you who are listening to me now realize the importance of this particular program. This is your chance to have your voice part of the story. So it's no longer just a byline, no longer a footnote in some history book. And I've had other ones ask me, Bob, did you serve in the military? Yes, I did. I served in the Army. I enlisted at a very young age. I won't deny that. I needed my parents' consent when I enlisted in the Army. I was only 17, and I served my country very honorably, and I am proud of my service. We on the ground have stories to say, and it's tough. It's very tough to talk about it. But the point is your voice. I'm not going to put my voice into this program because I don't want to give you, my experience. I want you to hear from other veterans. And this is why I am encouraging every veteran who served during that conflict to please send me an email with your story, with your experiences. I don't care if you were, in the Mekong Delta. I don't care if you were right along the Cambodian or Laos borders and in many of the fire bases. I don't care. I want to hear from you. I don't care if you were an airman who sat back in Saigon or were on some ship out in the China Sea. I don't care. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what it was like for you during that period of time. And it's only going to come together if we get people involved. And I am encouraging everyone to please get involved. This is a very important issue. And it seems history is starting to forget about Vietnam. Many of us, I'm not going to deny it. I will not deny it. We would love to forget that. We would love to put that behind us. But many of us were exposed to Agent Orange, and we are now suffering the after effects. Look how long it took to battle to get some recognition about Agent Orange. Many who served there suffer from PTSD even to this day. You have the scars of a war that, it wasn't classified a war. It was classified as a police action. It was a conflict. Over 58,000 Americans died during that war. Many thousands injured. Many still MIA. It's time you get the recognition you deserve. So I am imploring you, please send me an email. Tell me your story. Just send the email to kkrp1610 at yahoo.com. We will read your email. And what we are also going to do is, if you want to leave a short message, I'm talking about a 35, 40, maybe 60-second message, and tell us a little bit about where you served during that conflict. We're going to open up the studio phone line, and what's going to happen is you'll let it ring 4 times, because on the 4th ring it'll automatically go to voicemail, and leave that message there. So what we're going to do is, next week we're going to pick one day, and we're going to open that phone line up, and you can leave a short message there. So write this phone number down. The number is 918-966-2391. Again, the number is 918-966-2391. And we're going to want to hear from you. And we're going to air that. This is something, folks, that we can't forget, because 40 years ago, on April the 30th, 1975, Saigon fell. And on my program on that day, you're going to hear from the Medal of Honor winner that actually got me involved in this. Now, it wasn't the Medal of Honor winner himself. It was a Facebook person who wrote a very touching story. So Ed Freeman, you're going to hear it in his own words. This is prior to his death. What he went through and how he earned his Medal of Honor. You're also going to hear from other Medal of Honor recipients. Some of them are now gone. I'm not going to deny you this, but their words are out there for all of eternity. And you're going to hear them once again. Many Medal of Honor recipients. We're also trying to get women who served in the nursing corps that were there as well. So if you're a lady and you served during Vietnam and you were there, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your story. Don't let the historians rewrite history for you. Let's write history for what it is. Tell me your story. And once again, all you have to do is send me an email. Email me or next week, Wednesday, call, leave a short message. Again, the email address is kkrp1610@yahoo.com. Or next Wednesday, starting at 8 a.m. Central Time, leave a very short, maybe 60-second, message about where you were, when you were there, and we will air it. It's simple. It's as simple. We will air it. Again, that number is 918-966-2391. Like I said, that line will open up next week, Wednesday, starting at 8 o'clock. And it's going to be available to you the whole day. So please, let's get involved here, guys, because our story needs to be told. We cannot afford this conflict to merely become a footnote in some history book somewhere. I've also heard from others that there was always a rivalry between the branches of service while we were there. What I can tell you is those of us on the ground may not have experienced it from many branches. Sure, you had they call the Marines jarheads, you called the Navy one thing, and you called the Air Force the flyboys. Granted, there was that rivalry there, but when it came to depending on the guy next to you, whatever rivalries there were put aside. You were there for one thing and one thing only, and that's to get home alive. That was the whole thing. So when people say that there were rivalries, there probably were. Many times there probably was. This was a war that few wanted to be involved in. And we finally got out. I mean, we got out. But now it seems many of us, many veterans, and I'm not just talking, about Vietnam, but I'm talking overall, the veterans are coming under attack from our very own Congress. 1 minute when they get ready to run for office, they're supporting of the veterans. They want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do the other thing. But in reality, once they get in there, who takes the hit? The veterans. The veterans take the hit. Well, this tribute that I'm going to be doing on the 30th is going to raise awareness that there is a segment within the veterans who need us, who are getting to be fewer and fewer and fewer. And I'm talking about not just World War II, I'm talking about Vietnam. It's a war many say we lost. But for those of us that were on the ground, we did our job. Simple. Plain, simple, no BSing here. We did our job. And we did it, in most cases, with honor. So for those of you out there who are so quick to condemn those of us who served in Vietnam, remember one thing. The vast majority of us who did enlist, who did voluntarily go over there, served our country with honor. I was one of them. I enlisted. I volunteered for the Army. I served in Vietnam. I came home, and I can hold my head up high. But this is where a lot of others can't. And many people are saying that, Bob, what you're asking on this tribute is going to be an insurmountable obstacle, because veterans do not want to talk about their experiences. That's right. Many don't. Many don't. And I'm not going to deny that. It's like pulling teeth out of a person without the anesthesia. I'm not going to say that this is going to be an easy task, but you can remain anonymous. All I'm asking is a simple email. Tell me in the email your experiences, or leave a short message when we open up the phone line next week, Wednesday. It's real simple. Our story needs to be told. And like I said, on the 30th of April, we will be airing that very special program for the entire Upfront Outspoken, for the entire 90 minutes. 40 years ago on that date, Saigon fell. And you're going to hear, like I said, you're going to hear from many Medal of Honor winners. They're not winners, they're recipients. They're recipients of the Medal of Honor, the highest award this country can offer. And you're going to hear those stories. You're going to hear from Bruce Crandall. You're going to hear from Ed Freeman. You're going to hear from many others. But I want you to get involved as well. So if you're a veteran of the Vietnam era, the Vietnam War itself, and you served over there, send me an email. It's real simple. kkrp1610@yahoo.com. Or as I said, next week, Wednesday, I'm going to open up the studio line. I'm going to leave it ring. And like I said, after the fourth ring, please leave your message. And that number is 918-966-2391. Leave that message. Let's get your voice heard. We need to tell the world what it was actually like over there. Do we deserve a mere footnote in some history book? I don't believe so. I really don't. You've seen it on YouTube. There's many videos out there regarding Vietnam. But I want to take this program and turn it up a notch. I want to hear right from you. This is our tribute to the men and women who served in that conflict. And I'm not going to be able to do this without you getting involved. It's that simple. You need to be involved. You need to get your voice heard. This is your chance. I wish there was more I could do, because we as veterans deserve better. We deserve to be treated better. And those of us who served in Vietnam had a tough job. We were fighting a two-front war. First, against the VC, and second, against the home front. It wasn't a pleasure trip. It wasn't fun. And I'm not going to deny it and sit here and tell you it was all fun and games, because it wasn't. But we need the world to know your story. And we're not going to be able to do it unless you come forward and send me an email, or like I said, next week, Wednesday, I'm going to open up the phone line and you can leave a message. I'm asking you, I'm imploring you to please get involved, be part of this very special tribute to Vietnam, the Vietnam veteran. Men and women served over there, and I want to hear from both. I really do. I want to hear from both. We're doing our homework on this end. Now we're asking you to get involved. Real simple. Send me an email, kkrp1610@yahoo.com. Or like I said, next week, Wednesday, I'm going to open up the phone line, and all you have to do is call, leave a short message. Let it ring the fourth time, because that's exactly how it's going to be set up. And that number again is 918-966-2391. I'll tell you that phone number, before we open the phone lines up next week, but I want you to write it down now. And then, like I said, on April the 30th, during my program Upfront Outspoken, We're going to read those emails. You're going to hear those messages, and you're going to hear from recipients of the Medal of Honor, some who have passed away, some who are still alive today. And I want to thank Art for bringing me Ed Freeman's story. So we did our homework, and we found Ed indeed did do a interview and told his story. So you're going to hear Ed himself, his very own words, about what happened on that day back in 1965 that garnered him the Congressional Medal of Honor, the highest award that can be given. Those people who wear that ribbon, wear that medal, they all have a story. But the average grunt has a story as well, and we want to hear from you. So please, I encourage you, send me an email, kkrp1610@yahoo.com, or next week, Wednesday, starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. Call the studio number, leave a message, and that'll be 918-966-2391. When I come back after NPR News, what can I tell you? A lot of things went on in the world. Yeah, a lot of things. Going to be interesting about 60 minutes. Don't go away. I'll be right back.